Daniel Ricciardo took advantage of a tactical masterstroke by his Red Bull team to win in Shanghai after championship leader Sebastian Vettel and Max Verstappen dramatically collided during a thrilling Chinese Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas appeared on course to claim a victory, but the race took a dramatic twist when the safety car was deployed following a coming together between the Toro Rosso pair of Brendan Hartley and Pierre Gasly on lap 31. Unlike their rivals, Ricciardo and Verstappen dived into the pits to take on fresh rubber, and the gamble worked for Ricciardo as he passed Kimi Raikkonen, Lewis Hamilton, Vettel and finally Bottas for a quite remarkable win. Here, Sportsmail brings you up to speed with 8 things you may have missed from the Chinese Grand Prix. Party time for Daniel Ricciardo doesn't do boring, something he admitted following this triumph. All 6 of his F1 wins have come from outside the top 3 starting positions on the grid. Remarkable stuff, given overtaking isn't exactly easy these days. But it highlights his rare ability to pass his fellow drivers, and will no doubt alert the watching rival teams. I don't seem to win boring races, said Ricciardo after claiming his first victory since last June's Azerbaijan Grand Prix. That was unexpected. It was hectic. I heard the safety car call at turn 14 and they said we are going to stop. It happened very quickly, but it was a decisive, winning move. Sometimes you have just got to lick the stamp and send it. I enjoyed it very much. Red Bull's charismatic social media team enjoy Ricciardo's progress. Ricciardo's sensational drive certainly kept us on the edge of our seats, and it seems the Red Bull social media team were just as excited as fans. With the Australian on fresh rubber, he produced several magnificent passes to move into the lead, one he held onto with relative ease. The team's Twitter account kept us up to date regarding Ricciardo's progress with several entertaining tweets and GIFs. It seems the charisma runs in the team. Hamilton with another record. 4-time world champion Lewis Hamilton set a Formula One record of 28 successive scoring finishes on Sunday but was in no mood for celebrating. Hamilton has now claimed outright a record he had previously held jointly with Ferrari's Kimi Raikkonen. He was, however, left disappointed with his 4th-placed finish in a chaotic Chinese Grand Prix he labeled a disaster. It's a blow for Mercedes. Mercedes will undoubtedly have similar feelings to Hamilton on Sunday night, having seen their rivals close the gap after 4 years of dominance. With Ricciardo winning the race, champions Mercedes have now been beaten 3 races in a row for the first time in the V6 turbo hybrid era that started in 2014. That will surely give them much-needed motivation to bounce back in Baku in a fortnight, but it certainly wasn't what we were expecting heading into this season. Reality check for Gasly. The young Frenchman produced a spectacular drive at the Bahrain Grand Prix in the previous round and was deservedly praised for his exploits. This week, however, didn't go to plan. He was too eager to get ahead of Hartley, colliding with his teammate and ultimately ruining both of their races. It'll no doubt be a lesson learned for Gasly, who took to Twitter following the race to explain the incident. Difficult weekend, and tough race. Had contact with Brendan. Team told us to swap positions in T14 as we were on different strategies, so I expected Brendan to give me room, but he didn't see me. Let's move on. Baku next, he wrote. Another step in the right direction for McLaren. Not a bad day's work for McLaren amid the chaos that was happening ahead of Fernando Alonso and Stoffel Vandoorne. Vandoorne had to settle for 13th, but it's Alonso who can be the happier of the two, with his 7th-placed finish. The 2-time world champion now has 22 points for the season, 5 more than he managed throughout the entirety of last season. Perhaps that engine switch to Renault has paid off. Mr. Popular Hamilton certainly had no shortage of support at the Chinese Grand Prix, further highlighting his reputation in Formula One. The stands were full of Hamilton-supporting fans, who waved their flags and cheered for their man prior to the start. So no doubt there were plenty of disappointed faces following his underwhelming 5th-placed finish, which then turned into 4th. Raving it up in Red Bull. It's not often the Formula One garage looks more like a nightclub, but that's what Red Bull achieved prior to this race. Dutch DJ Armin van Buuren performed a set for Heineken and Verstappen and Ricciardo's car hub before the race. They may want to get him back for future races too, given the Red Bull pair were certainly pumped.